The Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey is an American multi-mission, tilt-rotor military aircraft with both vertical takeoff and landing, VTOL, and short takeoff and landing, STOL, capabilities. It is designed to combine the functionality of a conventional helicopter with the long-range, high-speed cruise performance of a turboprop aircraft. In 1980, the failure of Operation Eagle Claw, during the Iran hostage crisis, underscored that there were military roles for which neither conventional helicopters nor fixed-wing transport aircraft were well suited. The United States Department of Defense, DoD, initiated a program to develop an innovative transport aircraft, with long-range, high-speed, and vertical takeoff capabilities. The Joint Service Vertical Takeoff/Landing Experimental, JVX, program officially commenced in 1981. A partnership between Bell Helicopter and Boeing Helicopters was awarded a development contract in 1983 for the V-22 tilt-rotor aircraft. The Bell-Boeing team jointly produces the aircraft. The V-22 first flew in 1989 and began flight testing and design alterations. The complexity and difficulties of being the first tilt-rotor for military service led to many years of development. The United States Marine Corps, USMC, began crew training for the MV-22B Osprey in 2000 and fielded it in 2007. It supplemented and then replaced their Boeing Vertal CH-46C9s. The U.S. Air Force, fielded their version of the tilt-rotor, the CV-22B, in 2009. Since entering service with the Marine Corps and Air Force, the Osprey has been deployed in transportation and medevac operations over Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and Kuwait. The U.S. Navy plans to use the CMV-22B for carrier on-board delivery duties beginning in 2021. The first V-22 was publicly rolled out in May 1988. That year, the U.S. Army left the program, citing a need to focus its budget on more immediate aviation programs. In 1989, the V-22 survived two separate Senate votes that could have resulted in cancellation. Despite the Senate's decision, the Department of Defense instructed the Navy not to spend more money on the V-22. As development cost projections greatly increased in 1988, Defense Secretary Dick Cheney tried to defund it from 1989 to 1992, but was overruled by Congress, which provided unrequested program funding. Multiple studies of alternatives found the V-22 provided more capability and effectiveness with similar operating costs. The Clinton administration was supportive of the V-22, helping it attain funding. The first of 6 prototypes first flew on March 19, 1989 in the helicopter mode and on September 14, 1989 in fixed-wing mode. The third and fourth prototypes successfully completed the first sea trials on USS Wasp in December 1990. The fourth and fifth prototypes crashed in 1991 and 1992. From October 1992 to April 1993, the V-22 was redesigned to reduce empty weight, simplify manufacture, and reduce build costs. It was designated V-22B. Flights resumed in June 1993 after safety changes were made to the prototypes. Bell Boeing received the contract for the Engineering Manufacturing Development, EMD, phase in June 1994. The prototypes were also modified to resemble the V-22B standard. At this stage, testing focused on flight envelope expansion, measuring flight loads, and supporting the EMD redesign. Flight testing with the early V-22s continued into 1997. Flight testing of 4 full-scale development V-22s began at the Naval Air Warfare Test Center, Naval Air Station Patuxent River, Maryland. The first EMD flight took place on February 5, 1997. testing soon fell behind schedule. The first of 4 low-rate initial production aircraft, ordered on April 28, 1997, was delivered on May 27, 1999. The second sea trials were completed on board USS Saipan in January 1999. During external load testing in April 1999, MV-22 transported the lightweight M777 howitzer. In 2000, there were 2 fatal crashes, killing a total of 23 Marines, and the V-22 was again grounded while the crash's causes were investigated and various parts were redesigned. In June 2005, the V-22 completed its final operational evaluation, including long-range deployments, high-altitude, desert, and shipboard operations. Problems previously identified had reportedly been resolved. U.S. Naval Air Systems Command, NAVAIR, worked on software upgrades to increase the maximum speed from 250 knots, 460 kilometers per hour, 290 miles per hour, to 270 knots, 500 kilometers per hour, 310 miles per hour, increase helicopter mode altitude limit from 10,000 feet, 3,000 m, to 12,000 feet, 3,700 m, or 14,000 feet, 4,300 m, and increase lift performance. By 2012, changes had been made to the hardware, software, and procedures in response to hydraulic fires in the nacelles, vortex ring state control issues, and opposed landings. Reliability has improved accordingly. An MV-22 landed and refueled on board Nimitz in an evaluation in October 2012. In 2013, cargo handling trials occurred on Harry S. Truman. In October 2015, NAVAIR tested rolling landings and takeoffs on a carrier, preparing for carrier on-board delivery. The U.S. Air Force's first operational CV-22 was delivered to the 58th Special Operations Wing, 58th South, at Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico, in March 2006. Early aircraft were delivered to the 58th SAU and used for training personnel for special operations use. On November 16, 2006, the U.S. Air Force officially accepted the CV-22 in a ceremony conducted at Hurlburt Field, Florida. The U.S. Air Force's first operational deployment sent 4 CV-22s to Mali in November 2008 in support of Exercise Flintlock. The CV-22s flew non-stop from Hurlburt Field, Florida with in-flight refueling. UFSOC declared that the 8th Special Operations Squadron reached initial operational capability in March 2009, with 6 CV-22s in service.